A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a bold move that has sparked significant controversy, the Republican-controlled legislature in North Carolina passed a sweeping 131-page bill on Wednesday aimed at diminishing the powers of the incoming Democratic governor and attorney general. This legislation, which also includes provisions for disaster relief following Hurricane Helene, is seen by many as a strategic maneuver to solidify Republican control over state elections and judicial appointments before Democrats take office in January. The bill's passage comes at a time when Republicans are likely to lose their supermajority in the legislature following recent electoral defeats. The incoming governor, Josh Stein, will replace Roy Cooper, and this shift in leadership has prompted the GOP to act swiftly. One of the most significant changes proposed in the bill is the restructuring of the State Board of Elections. Currently, this board consists of 3 Democrats and 2 Republicans, but the new legislation would transfer appointment powers from the governor's office to the state auditor, who is expected to be a Republican. Critics argue that this change could lead to a Republican majority on the board, raising concerns about the impartiality of election oversight in North Carolina. Additionally, the bill seeks to limit the governor's authority to fill judicial vacancies. Under the new rules, the governor would be restricted to appointing candidates nominated by the political party of the judge leaving the seat. This provision has raised alarms among Democrats, who view it as an attempt to undermine the independence of the judiciary and further entrench partisan control. The legislation also aims to curtail the powers of the Attorney General, who currently has the ability to challenge laws passed by the legislature. With Jeff Jackson set to take over from Stein, the GOP's efforts to limit the Attorney General's scope of action have been met with fierce criticism. Democrats argue that these changes are unconstitutional and represent a blatant power grab by the Republican Party. The bill includes provisions to alter election procedures significantly. For instance, it would shorten the time voters have after Election Day to address issues with mail-in and absentee ballots. Additionally, it requires local election officials to complete the counting of provisional ballots within 3 days of the election. These changes come in response to Republican complaints about delays in counting ballots during recent elections, particularly in a closely contested Supreme Court race. The Senate's approval of the bill sends it to Governor Cooper, who now has 10 days to either sign or veto it. However, North Carolina law does not allow governors to veto specific parts of a bill, meaning Cooper would have to reject the entire measure, including the hurricane relief provisions. This presents a dilemma for the outgoing governor, as he has expressed strong opposition to the broader implications of the bill. As the situation unfolds, it is clear that the Republican Party is racing against time to solidify its power before the incoming Democratic administration takes office. With the potential for a veto from Cooper, the GOP may face an uphill battle in implementing these controversial changes. The political landscape in North Carolina is shifting, and the coming weeks will be critical in determining how power dynamics play out in the state. Critics of the bill, including Democratic lawmakers, have voiced their concerns about the implications of such sweeping changes. They argue that the legislation undermines the democratic process and sets a dangerous precedent for future governance in North Carolina. Power would have been lifting up the people of Western North Carolina so they can rebuild, said Senator Lisa Grafstein, expressing disappointment in the bill's focus on political maneuvering rather than genuine relief efforts for hurricane victims. As the dust settles on this legislative session, the question remains: how will the incoming Democratic leadership respond to these aggressive moves by the Republican Party? With the political landscape rapidly evolving and tensions running high, all eyes will be on North Carolina as it navigates this contentious chapter in its history. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.